I'm going to show you guys another ecosystem, one that I am mega bullish on. And I believe is going to be an absolute game changer. It puts together all of the right narratives, everything, and the time to act is now. Literally, urgently, this play is one of my biggest bets of this entire bull run, guys. If you're excited for today's show, do us a favor, destroy that like button. It really helps me and the channel, really helps us as a community grow bigger. We get more alpha, we become bigger and wealthier together. All right, guys, let's dive into it without further ado. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that bell notification, hit all, because this content is time sensitive and you don't want to miss it. All right, guys, let's start by diving into CoinGecko over here. And as you can see, even though yesterday was, and the day before, quite nerve-wracking, and a lot of you guys out there were worried. You had other YouTubers saying that we're going to have a 30% pullback. And while it's still technically possible, remember, we're going to talk about why I don't think that's likely. And as you can see, as I've been reassuring you guys in the videos yesterday and day before, the markets decided to come back pretty aggressively today. And as of the time of recording, the markets will open in the US in 15 minutes. We'll see what happens. And I'll show you how the buys and the sales went yesterday from the ETF flows as well. But as you can see here, guys, over the past 24 hours, Bitcoin is up 2.4%, with Ethereum up 5%. And as we go down here, we can see a lot of other altcoins. XRP up 7%, Cardano up 11%, Avalanche up 5%, and another one, Chainlink, up 6%, which I bought more ETH and Link yesterday, which I'll show you guys in a bit. But if you guys aren't following me on X, make sure that you do that at Kyle_Chasse, because sometimes I post information on X first. Sometimes I post information in the Telegram, the VVIP group first. And once in a while, it comes here on YouTube videos first, but it's hard for me to make these videos in a timely fashion. I can only do them once per day, when it's so easy to go on, on Telegram or on X and just post something that I'm doing or looking at. So as you guys can see, back to 94.3. Feeling pretty good about that. I know a lot of people are really concerned, setting this threshold at $91,000 down at kind of now currently support. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. The trades that I have open, I haven't changed. If you guys have been trading with me, you're still up really, really well. AVAX up 173%, TIA up 145%, Starkware, I opened this trade right at the pullback when we had a little pullback, so it's still down, but not so bad. The chart looks really nice for Starkware, and Bitcoin up 62% right now. I will show you though in the video today why I am rotating more into high cap altcoins, as I think that's where we're going in the market direction right now. And as you can see over here, I still have my near long open over here on Levex. And guys, if you're not in the VIP group, the instructions on how to get the VIP group are in the description below. I saw a couple of people joined. Welcome newcomers to the group. And there's always fun stuff happening over there. And it's gonna get better in that group, guys, over the next week or two. We're gonna get some more structure. We're gonna bring some more alpha, some more people in there. So it'll be even more exciting as we go. But it's nice to see Bitcoin rallying over here, guys. Back to exciting times ahead. So now, as far as the Bitcoin ETF flows, now it was kind of a mellow day yesterday. You had $0 coming in from BlackRock, $95 million selling from Fidelity, and the rest were kind of neutral. It was a mild day nonetheless, $122 million in net outflows. Not a big deal, just kind of neutral. My guess is today will probably be bigger, and we'll talk about some of the reasons. So in today's video, guys, you'll find out kind of what's been going on over the past couple of days, and we'll dive into that. But as you can see on Ethereum ETFs, albeit still small compared to Bitcoin, it was a net positive inflow day, and notably, BlackRock buying $50 million of Ethereum spot ETF. It's interesting when you pay attention, right? And if you're just not paying attention, right? If you're just looking at the crypto market, before work and after work or whatever, and you're not watching these videos, you don't get to see when these subtle changes, and these subtle changes, guys, that you get on this show, that we show you right now, like the rotation from BlackRock, not buying anything in Bitcoin, yet starting to buy more heavy in ETH. This is you're watching it literally as it's happening within 24 hours. I'm bringing you guys the data of this stuff happening. It's incredibly valuable to see the rotation right now from Bitcoin to ETH. So my guess is moving forward for the next 6 months or whatever, ETH will outperform Bitcoin, right? It's been lagging dramatically. Everyone thinks ETH is dead. We're going to tell you today why it's not, and why I think it's a good bet, and why I've been buying more. So, Cointelegraph over here says bullish. Bitcoin projected to hit 132,000 in 2025. Obviously, it'll go up more. But why I wanted to share this chart was because we talked about the global M2 money supply in the show the other day. And there was one of the posts that I covered where they were concerned because the global M2 money supply was going down, but new data updated and showing 18% tick upward in the global M2 money supply. Very, very bullish for our bags, ladies and gentlemen, pumping it. And this is a clip from the former CFTC, the Commodities Futures and Trading Commission chair, talking about Bitcoin as a reserve or as a stockpile asset. Listen.
One of the states that are thinking about putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. What do you make about states putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet?
I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. So Trump proposed a Bitcoin stockpile, as you know, not a reserve, but a stockpile. It's a subtle difference. Okay. Countries have been stockpiling commodities since the dawn of time. Let's
pile it up. Let's pile it up. Forget that 200,000 per year. Let's just buy up like half the supply. Just pump our bags. Trump pump. All right. James Van Stratton over here says, can't really believe I'm saying this, but here we are. Lettuce hands or paper hands sold the most amount of Bitcoin ever yesterday in nominal terms to exchanges, almost $4 billion. This leads to liquidation cascades and smart money picks up cheap coins. I think we're done at a 10% correction. Did you sell your Bitcoins institutions, guys? Did you do that? Let me know, because I made this post. I'll show it to you right now. As you guys can see, I made this post yesterday saying if you sold anything over the past 24 hours, especially your most valuable blue chips, think Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc., you're selling them cheap to smart money. Don't be a ding dong and hodl. Right. And that's what we saw. We saw a bunch of people panic selling because they thought we were going to go into a big correction. There's no way we could, and selling your Bitcoin to the institutions at cheap. Okay. So what happened here, guys? Well, why the sell-off? So James eloquently says over here, a lot of talk has been on the distribution of long-term holders supply in Bitcoin. Long-term holders every bull cycle sell into price strength. But the percentage drop continues to diminish each bull cycle. So far, they have sold around 4% or 550,000 Bitcoin of the cohort supply, which continues to make higher lows, outpacing the buying pressure from ETFs and MicroStrategy. If the trend continues, we should see around 163,000 Bitcoin sold before it bottoms out in December as the time from the top to bottom shortens. So basically what you're seeing here is, guys, is long-term holders, people that have been basically buying Bitcoin at the bottom, holding for a year or two, are now taking profits. We've talked about this before. It shouldn't surprise you. It surprises me though, because I don't know who's selling Bitcoin right now to take profits. I think it's crazy personally, but people are doing it, and that's what's going on. That's literally what's happening. So, but the good news is every cycle, the amount of long-term holders, it also halves. It also has a long-term holder taking profits also have its own halvening, right? And so it's diminishing. But that is why we had the sell-off, right? And this, I like this. So I want to include this. So Bitcoin Charlie says, this is how our psychology works, right? It's like, damn, I wish I bought, right? So you see something over here, it pumps. You're like, oh, I wish I would have bought down here. And then it corrects and you're like, oh man, I was so smart not to buy that. Good thing I didn't buy that thing. And then boom, sends, and you're like, damn, should have bought that thing. So Rect Capital over here has a good chart and basically saying that $91,000 has flipped from resistance, as you guys can see right here, bam, it kind of bam, 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 kept hitting its head on the ceiling. And now it seems to be, especially if we continue to get at least holding the current levels over the next day or two, $91,000 will seem to be the new low. Do we continue to test the new low? I don't think so personally. But guys, whenever you watch my videos, you have to realize that Kyle is an eternal optimist in the crypto space. I thought that Bitcoin was going to become a world reserve currency way sooner. I didn't think it would take this long for it to happen, right? I'm always a bull. I'm a perma bull on crypto, perma bull on the space. So take what I say with a grain of salt, and that's why I tried to include other charts from people who are charters and, TA and other opinions, because if you ask Kyle, Bitcoin's going to 50 million and it's going there tomorrow, and we should just all strap on for the rocket ship and life is good, right? So I try to bring a little bit of a different perspective to the table. Now, Aaron, one of our researchers, he put out this good post for you lovely audience. He says, worried about Bitcoin's price action? Don't be. This dip might just be your annual Thanksgiving gift. Gobble, gobble. Here's why. Historically, Bitcoin and crypto dips just before Thanksgiving aren't uncommon. It's happened 8 out of 13 Thanksgivings since 2011, including this year. That makes 9 out of 13. Almost all Thanksgivings, it drops right before Thanksgiving. But here's the kicker. This signal has been 100% accurate so far as one of the best times to buy. Sure, it's only happened 3 times so far, but every time it's had the same outcome. It pumps immediately after the correction. So let's zoom in and focus only on the halving years and what happens to Bitcoin from Thanksgiving to Christmas. Well, in 2012, we had a 27% pump. These are halving years, this is a halving year. In 2016, a 33% pump. And in 2020, a 99% pump. So every halving year, Bitcoin has rallied during this period, 100% of the time. Sure, it's only 3 data points, but the odds are that we wouldn't bet against it. So as you look at the charts a little bit closer, you can see, bam, this is this orange line here is Thanksgiving on a halving year. And look at this rally afterwards. This is 2012. 2016, Thanksgiving on the halving year, massive rally after that. And then last bull run, we had this correction the week before Thanksgiving, then Thanksgiving, which is coming up basically now, and then huge rally, 99% to Christmas after that. So again, this whole market is about probabilities, right? It's about probability and odds. And I'm trying to bring to you guys the odds because that's all we can do is we can look at history and see if it's rhyming and repeating, and we can go off of that. So Gel over here, Crypto Janelle, very similar to previous cycles so far. The next weeks should provide some great opportunities if you're currently sidelined. If not, hold on tight. This bull run ain't done yet, not even close. Right. And so what they've done here is outlined the prior cycle and showed you that essentially we had similar, right? So you have this halving, post-halving chop. We know, you guys, if you've been watching this channel religiously, we sat there just dragging our feet for months and months and months and months after the halving. And we're like, when? And then we nailed it on the timeline, didn't we? We nailed it right here. We absolutely crushed it. Good job, guys. And then Bitcoin skyrockets for a little while. And then you got this kind of like this resistance, right? And the $20,000 resistance was before, 100K is resistance now. Try to break through it, chop sideways a little bit, and then bam, parabolic up. So we got some points of saying conclusive evidence, but it's like getting there. So Peter Schiff, the gold bug, he loves gold. Peter Schiff loves gold, and people love gold, and they like it because they can touch it, right? But we don't really care to touch things anymore, especially because gold can be mined, and we don't know how much more gold exists. We do know, though, that in the universe, there's infinite amounts of gold. Literally, like on asteroids and planets, we can go find gold, and eventually, as technology gets better, we can mine that gold. Right? And as you can see from this post here, Chinese geologists discovered 1,000 tons of gold. That's an extra 0.5% added to the global supply of gold. Guess what cannot be mined outside of the programmatic, predetermined, artificially scarce supply? Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin. So as this is not the last time this is going to happen, right? They will continue to find, and as asteroid mining becomes more realistic, people start to lose faith in gold. They already are. It's becoming an old thing, right? And And not saying that gold's going to like drop in value anytime soon heavily, but more interest will come into Bitcoin, right? And it makes Bitcoin's case even more of a hard asset. And Kyle Dupes, shout out to Kyle. What's up? Good name, Kyle. Kyle. Hey, Kyle. What's up, Kyle? So breaking news. The global stablecoin supply is at all-time high of 183 billion. We know, right, that when the stablecoin supply increases, Bitcoin pumps. This is one of the biggest indicators that we need to look out for to see when the market might correct as well. But as long as stablecoin continues to increase, markets are likely going to increase as well. And breaking news just in, guys, there's a bill in Brazil to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve officially introduced in Brazil's Chamber of Deputies. Again, guys, this is all about the dominoes falling, right? And you better believe, and right now I think that people think like they're in, like this psychology of a market cycle chart. If you guys if you've been here for a while, you know what I'm talking about. But I think right now we're in this like everyone who's like watching sideline for Bitcoin in all these other countries, they're looking in this disbelief section, like, what is this really going to happen? And the people who are the laggards, they're going to be buying much higher, but people who are going to move quicker are going to have the advantage to be buying Bitcoin alongside the United States when it does implement the strategic reserve or the stockpiling of it, right? And big news for our industry today, guys. So there was a federal hearing to overturn essentially Tornado Cash and keeping smart contracts as code and keeping them free and open. This is really big news for our industry. Okay, so this is pretty amazing, guys. I'm gonna read this to you. So privacy wins. Today, the Fifth Circuit held that the US Treasury sanctions against Tornado Cash smart contracts are unlawful. If you guys don't remember, so there were some devs who created something called Tornado Cash. Tornado Cash is a way that can be used for people who just want to protect their privacy and people who want to launder money, right? But just like all technology can be used for good or bad, and some people are using it for bad, but it doesn't mean that this technology should be outlawed, right? And so what happened is this very aggressive, horrible administration that we've all been burdened by over the past, that we must unburden what has been burdened. How does Kamal say it? Anyway, so this historic win for crypto and all who cares about defending liberty, Coinbase is proud to have helped lead this important challenge. These smart contracts must now be removed from the sanctions list, and US persons will once again be allowed to use this privacy-protecting protocol. Put another way, the government's overreach will not stand. No one wants criminals to use crypto protocols, but blocking open source technology entirely because a small portion of users are bad actors is not what Congress authorized. These sanctions stretch Treasury's authority beyond recognition, and the Fifth Circuit agreed. So anyways, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, guys. You can if you want to, but it's nice to see that smart contracts and code are winning and that we have things that were not just before justified. It makes me feel good. And as you can see, guys, Tornado Cash was effectively dead before, rallying 500% on the news. Even more, actually, pumped like crazy over the past 24 hours. But good for Tornado Cash. Hopefully they let the developers out of jail as well soon. Now, guys, I've talked to you about this NEKTAR protocol before. I wanted to bring it back up again because there is a way that you can earn some tokens if you're interested. But more importantly, there's some pretty big news. As you guys know, they're a partner of the channel. And what I thought was the most interesting thing, I'm not going to go over this too much because I did cover it before, but essentially this is like a bootstrapping protocol for all kinds of infrastructure. So if you need liquidity, if you need users, if you need CPU, if you need bandwidth, if you need blob space, you need storage, whatever it is in your new infrastructure protocol, you can use NEKTAR to tap into to allow you to bootstrap. It's really good. It allows people, it kind of helps eliminate this problem of what we call in VC world, like in startup world, the cold start problem, right? It's cold start. So, where we call it the chicken or the egg problem, right? You need this, but you want to have that, right? And so NEKTAR's solving for that, which is a huge deal. And what I thought was the most interesting is that you have partnerships with some of these huge projects like OG Labs, which I invested into. The last round was at like a $2 billion valuation. Berachain's like a $3 billion. So huge projects are using NEKTAR, which is a great validation of it. And if you guys want to, you can go over here, this app.fuul.xyz and learn how to start earning points on it. I do think that NEKTAR will be big if you're someone who likes airdrop farm and collect points. Here is where you can do it. And Locha over here says it's I am Locha if you want to learn more about how to do this. Learning 1, leveraging other platforms as a source of discovery and growth. NEKTAR rewards users with NEKTAR drops or points for key actions like depositing some ETH in their vaults across different platforms and other things like that. So guys, go check it out if you are curious and want to earn some points for NEKTAR. Now, Ash says over here, like Bitcoin is dumping, ETH is holding strong. As soon as Bitcoin stabilizes, altcoins will start to explode. Get ready for the epic pump. Now, I've showed you guys this chart many, many times before, right? Murad has a different perspective. His shows, like he's exited out all these things that meme coins, right? And I don't think that's going to be the case, right? I think that definitely the meme coins with strong communities there's definitely going to be a place for meme coins for sure. But I do think that we're going to see a rotation back to quality. And so this is still the most likely scenario, right? And how that works is you have phase 1 Bitcoin. We saw Bitcoin pumping, right? And then kind of like phasing overlap. So money flows into Ethereum, but it struggles to keep up with Bitcoin. Ethereum goes back and forth with Bitcoin and starts outperforming it. So that's where we are right now. We're in this kind of overlap, right? And then it does seem like the past couple of days, and maybe, again, this is the advantage of watching this channel is you get to see the future, basically. We're going to start to see this phase 2 happening. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks of the flippening. We're not quite there yet, though, guys. Like that's definitely not. I mean, we're just going to be lucky if we can get out of like Ethereum's debt. But we are getting out of that, right? And so then from phase 2, we go, money is starting to trickle into large caps where we see large buy-ups happening, right? And then large caps. Ethereum has been outperforming Bitcoin and large caps are going parabolic. We don't have this yet. We saw a taste of that. So we're kind of in this whole zone over here, right? And then again, regardless of market cap, some altcoins with strong fundamentals are having pumps. And then altcoin season, what we're all really looking forward to. So our bags can pump to Valhalla. Large caps have gone full vertical and we're seeing blow off tops. Mid caps, low caps, and micro caps all tend to pump around the same time. Large caps have been outperforming Bitcoin and Ethereum. It seems every coin is going parabolic regardless of fundamentals. Memes are everywhere. Everyone is super excited and you feel mania in the air. It's a good time to be alive in the alt season, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you're feeling great, but we're going to keep you grounded. We're going to keep you grounded and make sure you don't get too drunk on being rich, right? Because it happens. Trust me, it happens. So Max over here says, ETH is looking premier right now. Seasonally speaking, the best time to hold ETH is December through April, following a BTC halving. Friendly reminder for those who don't trade ETH very often, it happens quickly and usually doesn't give many great opportunities to enter, right? And as you can see, that happens over here. So boom, like in November 2020, last bull run, you saw these candles are huge, right? These candles are huge. These are monthly candles. And that's what it means that you don't get a lot of opportunity to enter. So now when you see this, you see the first sign of this big candle coming up. Like that's like the equivalent of here. So imagine being able to buy here and riding it all the way up to here. It's exactly where you want to be. We're just now getting started. This is really interesting. So there's a good report from Electric Capital talking about how Ethereum is not dead. I'm not going to go into it in depth here, but trust me, it's not. And if you just want a quick thing to show you what I'm talking about, when it comes down to new developers coding in different ecosystems, ETH has 2.7 times more than the next largest ecosystem, which is Polygon. And then it's even way bigger, about 4 times bigger than Solana, for example. Yes, Solana is big, but yes, Solana is mostly meme coins with some other solid projects being built on it as well. But Ethereum is far from dead, so don't let people tell you that it is. And there's some really cool things. There's something called Mega ETH, which is being built right now, which is going to be hyper fast and being built on top of Ethereum. That main net should launch, I think, in January or something like that too. So that's going to feel super fast, super cheap, faster than Solana. And that's happening on ETH Layer 2 as well. So that should get a lot of attention, endorsed by Vitalik and Joe Lubin from Consensus, stuff like that. So this is a really good report though. It kind of extracts the most important things. And as we can see over here, guys, this is really important. Look what the whales do. Look what institutions are doing. Look what Wall Street is doing. So as you can see, this is all Ethereum open interest. And Ethereum and open interest has spiked recently. Just in the last 2 days, open interest is actually spiking on Ethereum, showing a lot more interest in Ethereum. So you guys are getting this. And me, myself, yesterday, 24 hours ago, I literally, again, using Aave, I took out more loans and I bought a bunch of Chainlink and I bought a bunch of Ethereum because basically in Aave, those are the only, and I will make a video for you guys this weekend on how to use this money loop, like microsailor style, using Aave. It's really, really nice. And I've been using it a lot. And as you can see, normally what I do is I normally go buy Bitcoin, right? You guys know about that. But what I decided to do this time is I decided to go and buy an equal portion of ETH and an equal portion of Link. And I haven't done it yet, but I may decide to go actually swap some of my collateral, that's Bitcoin right now, for ETH or Link. We'll see, right? I want a little bit more confidence. I'm still extremely bullish on Bitcoin. I still think that Bitcoin is going to go crazy, but I do think that alts will do well too. And majority of my collateral in Aave is Bitcoin. So maybe I'll change that. Now, Ansem says, right now in order of most to least popular on the attention scale is meme coins, AI, and L1s. Actually, Ansem, it's not. It's AI and then meme coins, right? And so, guys, big news. And if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you probably maybe have a bag of this already. If not, BASEDAI is something that I've been talking about for a very long time. Very, very excited. This Pepe Coins project and BASEDAI are kind of tied at the hip, but they're also different projects. And, this is the chart over here, on this channel, we started talking about it back here in March at like a $40 to $50 million, something like that, $55 million market cap, right? And then went all the way up to 450 or so. And then I thought that we were going to get mainnet somewhere around here. And then it cooled down and we had all this time. And man, it's been like, but I know how it is to build dev stuff. I know how it is to build bleeding edge technology stuff that is kind of first of kind. And, how complex BASEDAI is nuts, right? So finally, we have this news of this mainnet launch coming up here, which I'll read to you. So BASEDAI says, Base Labs has inked a 2-year data center agreement for the BASEDAI mainnet clusters in the following countries: Estonia, Iceland, Denmark, Japan, and the United States, in service of the based god. And I think the ticker is so awesome, based. So when is this all happening, guys? This happens on November 30th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or on December 1st in most of the other world, most of the rest of the world. That's happening very, very soon, like 3 or 4 days, guys. So this is exciting, right? And you can see that the market's reacted. You've got the price pumping 41, 42% today. But we're going to talk about the opportunity here. This is $160 million market cap right now. 160 million. But let's go back into the rest of the announcement. So some cool things that they're doing, like block explorers, like when you want to go to Etherscan or whatever, SoulScan, they're just normally this like wall of text and it's kind of boring. So remember, Based is a layer 1 blockchain, a layer 1 EVM compatible, built with the same framework as Polkadot, built all around AI and ML and privacy, kind of like BitTensor Tau, but better. And they're saying they're bringing a meritocracy to agents with a coliseum worthy of the splendor. Offer up machine blood, make silicon suffer, Based. So you have this agent arena they're teasing, right? And they're taking these very popular agents that people have launched, like Act and Shogoth and Zerebro, and they're saying that they can compete each other. Goats, for example. And so you have the teasing of this agent arena, of the agents battling it out. And right now, the most popular thing in crypto right now, where all the attention is these agents, right? That's why, and I showed you guys like last week of the show, AI and memes were pretty much 50-50. But right now, AI is taking all the attention. And what better than a layer 1 blockchain? It's kind of like a layer 0, but it's a layer 1 blockchain where people can build smart contracts and tap into the different language models or AI models. Like, let me know if you want to do an entire video on Base, but I'd rather do that after mainnet launches. I just want to bring you guys updates of what's going on because it's really, really cool. So they have been planning this for a long time. Trust me, I've been talking to the team for almost a year now and following up on what's going on with this. And this agents arena, these AI agents are like the main thing that it's launching with. But also, it's not just AI agents, right? Like AI agents are everywhere. You've got Zerebro, you've got AI16Z, and this like it seems to be all the rage. But what Based is doing is not just AI agents. They're building what's called creatures, which we teased before is essentially a very basic form of AGI where it learns how to do things, right? And one of the most interesting things about Based is this idea of not just the agent arena, where agents will be competing against agents, is also this thing of a self-building blockchain, right? And so one of the unique value propositions about Based, because we know, guys, that so far, everything that humans can do, AI eventually does it better. It beats them at Go, it beats them at chess, beats them at doing this and that, and they're just becoming smarter. So who's gonna build the best blockchain, right? Is it gonna be humans, or is it gonna be an AI that learns and self-improves and builds itself? That is one of the unique value propositions about BASEDAI. No one else is doing anything like this, guys, and they've been working on this for years. And the mainnet is right around the corner, and you can use these creatures to do whatever you want to in your life, right? It's pretty damn amazing. Now, when you look at the chart here, guys, you can see that we talked about this chart the other day, right? Where do you want to buy? What do you want to look for? You want to look for this kind of crazy run-up, which we saw, this kind of coming down, consolidation, this little run-up, correction, and then boom, into parabolic zone, right? That's exactly what we see here. We see the run-up, correction, consolidation, accumulation, boom, hype, off, and then now look, this is playing out exactly to a T. Now look, it's at $163 million market cap and fully diluted valuation right now, right? $163 million right now. Let's look at some other things. You have Near protocol, right? Which Near went to an all-time high of $12.3 billion in last bull run. $12.3 billion market cap, right? So if you go 12.3 billion divided by 160 million, that's 76, 77, right? So if you put in, like $1,000, right? You're talking about that going to $77,000 or something. Pretty huge. And this is not, we're not talking about betting on some random meme coin here that could do, right? But these kind of plays, for me at least, are more high conviction where you go in with more size. Now remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you guys to do. I'm just telling you what I am doing. Because in fact, you can see that even today, just 5 hours ago, I went and I bought BASEDAI, $50,000 worth in this transaction and $20,000. I bought $70,000 today after I found about this news, same time as everybody else, and went and bought $70,000 in the market because the competition is just so insane, right? Look at BitTensor, right? BitTensor went to also a $5 billion valuation, right? So $5 billion from here, that was a $5 billion circulated market cap, but all-time high was $757, right? So if we go here and we do $757 times 21 million equals almost a $16 billion market cap divided by, let's say, Base's current market cap of 160 million, fully diluted, gives you 100x from here, right? So if I put in $70,000 today and it does 100x, then I'm looking at making $7 million on this trade. We'll see if that goes, but keep in mind, maybe say, oh, Kyle, this guy can go to Tau, blah, 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 blah. But this is just, we haven't even gotten to the banana zone yet, right? We haven't even gotten to alt season yet, right? BitTensor got to a $16 billion FTV in the damn near bear market, right? Certainly, this was back in, we're talking about in March 2024. So not quite the bear market, but certainly not altcoin season yet. Certainly not. So do I think BitTensor is going to do another 5 or 10x from here, right? It'll probably go to $100 billion FTV. And if you ask me, what Base is doing is way more interesting. It's a layer 1 EVM compatible, so people can build all kinds of dApps on there that connect to AI. It's self-creating, thinking. Imagine the CEO of a blockchain being the AI that thinks how to make itself better. It makes a lot of sense to me, right? So Base case, in my opinion, maybe is $5 to $15 billion, in my opinion, not financial advice. But who knows? It could go way more, right? These guys are claiming to change the entire world on the way that we have, open AI infrastructure where your prompts are your prompts. And this is so important, right? We're not going to be able to trust. We're not going to be able to trust the big guys. Oh, I have to show you guys one more thing before I go tonight. Guys, check this out. This is insane. This is Mark Andreessen with Joe Rogan. Just insane. Just watch this.
That's why this administration freaked us out so much, is because it felt like they were trying to become way more like China.
See, I was not nearly as aware as I should have been about all these things that you're saying. I didn't know this. I did know about the banks, and I certainly didn't know that they were cracking down on AI the same way they cracked down on social media.
The AI thing was very alarming. We had meetings this spring that were the most alarming meetings I've ever been in, where they were taking us through their plans, and it was
what kind of? Can you talk about it?
Basically, just full government control, like this sort of thing. There will be a small number of large companies that will be completely regulated and controlled by the government. They told us. They just said, don't even start startups. Like, don't even bother. Like, there's just no way. There's no way that they can succeed. There's no way that we're going to permit that to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, they said this is already over. It's going to be 2 or 3 companies, and we're going to control them, and that's that. Like, this is already finished.
Oh my God! Yeah. Now, when you leave a meeting like that, what do you do?
You go endorse Donald Trump.
So, I mean, that's how crazy it is. But would you really trust? Would you trust Google? Would you trust OpenAI, Sam Altman, with your deepest, darkest secrets? No. If you want AI to be the best service provider for you possible, it needs to know everything about you, including your best ideas, your secrets, your trademarks, the things that you're working on, and that all needs to be private, right? And we need to be able to trust, and that's the whole underlying motto of crypto is don't trust, verify. And that is what blockchain is all about. We don't have to trust centralized authority. It's decentralized. We trust and believe in code because we can verify it. And that's why I'm so bullish on what Based is doing, and I'm taking such a huge bet. All right, guys, let's wrap up today. Hopefully you learned a lot. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.